Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 700 Club. Israel has taken a historic step to protect itself from future terrorist attacks and prevent the creation of a Palestinian state right on its borders.
Hamas has reportedly rejected the latest ceasefire offer from the United States. That allows Israel to continue to expand its military offensive in Gaza. Chris Mitchell brings us the story from Jerusalem.
Israeli troops push further into northern Gaza, warning civilians to get out of harm's way. U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff's ceasefire and hostage deal would reportedly lead to Hamas freeing 10 of the remaining living hostages in the first week of the 60-day ceasefire. In exchange, Israel would free more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. A major sticking point, Hamas wants guarantees Israel won't return to fighting after the ceasefire. But Israel's Prime Minister says he wants the fighting to resume and continue until Hamas is eliminated in Gaza. Meanwhile, the Israeli government has made an historic decision to approve 22 new communities in the biblical heartland of the Jewish nation, Judea and Samaria, also known as the West Bank. This will help block Palestinians from forming a state in this area. And according to Defense Minister Israel Katz, it also provides a buffer for the nation's security. As he put it, Jewish settlement in Judea and Samaria serves as a vital security barrier for Israel's major population centers. We must do everything in our power to expand and reinforce this protective shield. It was the first volley in the government's effort to head off another unilateral move for a Palestinian state by some Western powers, including France. Next month, France's president at a summit in New York City will push for most of the world to altogether recognize a Palestinian state. Israeli Foreign Minister Gidon Saar warned that such a declaration would reward the Hamas terrorists who committed the October 7th atrocities. He added, unilateral moves against Israel will be met with unilateral Israeli measures.
We will not get any dictates from outside with regard to our national security.
This fits with the foreign minister's statements this week that if outside nations push to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria, Israel will respond by declaring sovereignty over more and more of the area.
All right, Chris Mitchell joins us now from Jerusalem. A lot to talk about. Chris, how does Israel approving these new settlements help block the creation of a Palestinian state?
Well, one of the main things is this, Andrew, it actually creates facts on the ground. It strengthens Israel's claim to the land. And what will happen is that more Israelis will be moving and living in Judea and Samaria. And it would make the withdrawal that happened 20 years ago unlikely. What happened 20 years ago, Andrew, is what's called the Gaza disengagement. Israel unilaterally pulled out of Gaza and 5 communities in northern Samaria. That was, as we see right now, we see the effects of what happened. Gaza became one of the biggest terror bases in all of the world. And so this is designed to help prevent a Palestinian state. It's really a strategic shift, a really historic move, Andrew, away from a two-state solution. And the next step, as we mentioned in that report, may be declaring sovereignty over Judea and Samaria.
So what are Israel's biggest concerns about a potential Palestinian state?
Well, one of the main concerns, Andrew, is security. And they looked at what happened after the disengagement in 2007, as I mentioned, what Gaza became the biggest terror base in the world. And then what had tens of thousands of rockets since then. And then obviously what happened on October 7th. A Palestinian state would be in the heart of Israel, and it would be close to Tel Aviv, the Ben Gurion Airport, and Jerusalem. And people are concerned it could be another terror base. We also see terror hubs, so to speak, in places like Nablus and Jenin. And we also see that after October 7th, many of the Palestinians in Judea and Samaria, they actually supported October 7th. And they believe that if you look at places like Palestinian Media Watch, which monitors Palestinian media, there's really anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, anti-Jewish propaganda almost every day. So this marks no more going back to the Oslo-style negotiations and a belief for many that this is really the land promised in the Bible to the Jewish people.
All right, Chris, let's talk about the war in Gaza. There's a new way to distribute humanitarian aid to the Palestinians there. What impact does that have on Hamas?
Well, it's a major impact, Andrew, and actually this is a dramatic development. And what it does is it bypasses the ability for Hamas to steal the humanitarian aid and feed their own terrorists. And then actually they often sell it back to the population. And they've been doing this since the beginning of the war. So this new humanitarian effort, which is called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, it really undermines Hamas's control over the population. Hamas is warning the people, no, don't go to these areas and get the humanitarian aid, but many are ignoring Hamas. And so Hamas wants to stop, in any negotiations, wants to stop this because it really represents a threat to their control and to their authority and weakens them dramatically.
All right, Chris, while I have you, let's talk about another layer in all of this. There are ongoing reports of worries in Israel about a possible Trump administration nuclear deal with Iran. What are those concerns Israel has?
Well, over here, Andrew, they don't trust Iran. Iran violated the 2015 JCPOA. That was an agreement that was designed to limit Iran's nuclear program. And over here, they believe that a bad deal by the U.S. and Iran would allow Iran to continue to enrich uranium. And they believe over here that Iran is committed ideologically and theologically to nuclear weapons, part of their belief in the return of the Shiite Messiah, the Mahdi. And they believe diplomacy really is not going to stop Iran. And while this window continues, they seem to be going towards a nuclear weapon, an existential threat to Israel.
All right, Chris, always appreciate your great reporting. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Andrew.